Hi everyone! Today we're going to dive a little bit deeper into music theory and talk about the primary chords and inversions. We'll be using C major as the example again. So if you remember from the last video, a C major scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now the scale degree 1, 4, and 5 are C, F, and G. So the chords we build on scale degree 1, 4, and 5 are called the primary chords. If you're not familiar with what a chord is a combination of 3 or more notes. So if there are only 3 notes, the chord is called a triad. To build a chord, as you can see, you'll be skipping the notes on the piano. So the bottom note of the chord is the root, and skip a note, and E, skip a note G. So C, E, G is a C chord. And again from F, skip a note, F, A, C is a F chord, and G, B, D is a G chord. Now there are major chord and minor chord on any key. So if I play C, E, G, the middle note is a major third from the root. A major third has 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I play C, E flat, G, now the middle note is a minor third from the root. Minor third has 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. So it's 1 half step lower from the major chord. Between the bottom and top note, we have a perfect fifth, and it doesn't change between a major and minor chord. Now before we look at the pieces, let's talk about the inversions. An inversion is putting the notes in a chord in a different order. So if you remember the root position C chord, C, G, remember C is the root, and the middle note is the third, and the top note is the fifth. Now if I put the root on the other side, on top, now the third becomes the lowest note, and the root becomes the top note. So this is called first inversion of a C major chord. And if we rotate one more time, putting the third of the chord on top, now this is a second inversion of the C major chord. So as a piano player, it's very important to get to know the inversions and be as comfortable as you can be playing inversions. We use them all the time to make chords sound better together and to also make it easier for us to play. You will notice in your textbook that on the 4 chord and the 5 chord, you'll be playing inversions. So instead of F, A, C, root position 4 chord, you'll be playing C, F, A. This is the second inversion of the F major chord. And for the G7 chord, the 5-7 chord, instead of root position G, B, D, F, you'll be playing B, D, F, G, or sometimes just B, F, G. This is the first inversion of a G7 chord, because we only rotate it once to get here. From here, we only rotate, put the lowest note, the root, from the bottom to the top. So this is the first inversion, and this will be the version that you use for all the pieces. So if we look at page 145, Rise and Shine, start with the 1 chord, C chord, and here on the 4 chord, it's C, F, A, and back to C chord, my pinky stayed on the same note between those two chords. And here comes the G7 chord, F chord, C chord. Let's look at another example. The Entertainer on page 148. Here we start with the 1 chord, and then 4 chord, 1 chord, 1, 5, 7, 1, 1, 4, 1. Take a look at Home on the Range now on page 150 and 151. This one is a lead sheet. So in popular music, you will often see a sheet of music like this. It only has the melody. The left-hand chords are not written out. All you see is just the chord symbols on top of the melody. This gives you a great flexibility and freedom to make up your own accompaniment and also to find your own voicing or inversions for the chord. And there are a couple ways of playing this. You can simply just play the accompaniment with both hands, so no melody at all. You can sing the melody you want if you want, or you can ask a friend to sing it. This happens very often as a piano player, especially in an ensemble or small group setting. So to play just the accompaniment, you will be playing only the root of the chord in the left hand. So for C chord, you will only play C, and for the right hand, you'll be playing C, E, G. For the F chord, left hand plays F, right hand plays the same inversion you've been doing for the left hand, C, F, A. And for the G7 chord, left hand plays G, right hand plays, again, the first inversion of the G7 chord. So since the key signature is 3/4, there are 3 beats per measure, you can simply just do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, something like this. It gives a folky flavor to the song, which is very fitting for the style of this piece. So it will sound something like this. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, and the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Something like that. If you want to play the melody in the right hand, then just play the block chord in the left hand. I just put the chord on the downbeat of where the chord symbol is. That's how you play primary chords in the key of C major. In the next video, we'll practice the primary chords in the key of G major.